One. Independent Showcase Season 3, Episode 6. Yes, yeah, I got it. 6. Trailblazers edition. You would have seen a lot of the young up and coming talent on the show. We've had Regan Blade. We've had Archie Payne. We've had, well, someone that knows our guest very, very well because she took a dive from him a month or two ago, Diaz. But I'm joined by the one, the only, the DKW Showcase champion as well, and someone returning to Ignite in February. It is Mr. Swift Sonic himself, Jaden Williams. Evening, mate.
What's good? How we doing?
It's all right, man. It's definitely winter now. I will say that. Nights are drawing in, and it's nearly that time of the year for presents and whatnot. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about you, Jaden. 2025. I've seen you quite a lot. I don't know if that's a sinful thing or not. I've seen you quite a lot this year on the scene, whether it's DKW, I saw you impromptu or RCWA
Yeah.
not too long ago as well. I'm going back there actually this coming weekend at time of recording, of course, and of course Ignite Wrestling. But in all, what's 2025 been like for Jaden Williams?
Well, I mean, prior to Jaden Williams, I mean, you got to talk about myself trying to just get on with the personal life because even though it seems like I've been everywhere this year, in fact, it's funny to think I've only been wrestling this year from June. Like
Mm.
from June, that's where I've been wrestling. So it's literally just been 6 months of just solid wrestling. But the first 5 months, I was just prioritizing like outside achievements such as university, just finishing off my final year, getting rid of that, and then just graduating with a first, not to brag. So I went ahead and I just spent all the time doing that. But then end of May rolled around, and I went on back to DKW with a sort of surprise return. I kind of hid myself under a mask and pretended to be a Peter Miller fan, which
One of only very few.
yeah, it was kind of easy to point me out, you know what I mean? But I tried to stay as incognito as possible. No one saw it coming. I sat in a sweaty mask for about 20, 30 minutes waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And it just happened to be his birthday, so I gave him a present, which happened to be a shirt that read Swift Sonic. And then I just kicked him in the head. And yeah, that was me coming back into wrestling saying, yeah, this is the beginning of the end for everyone except for me. And then I think the it just picked up gradually from there. Wrestle Force was back in full swing. I got my debut match at Ignite, which was a really fun match to have. A great opener, and getting to wrestle guys like Denzel Mack and Tommy Tanner has always been. It's always fun. It's always fun working Tanner. And then Denzel Mack, I've only ever worked in that match, and it's always really fun to just see when we'll next cross paths. And then mostly from there, it's just been gaining titles at DKW, just putting on match after match, banger after banger against like all the top uprising stars in the UK. Um, Getting to wrestle all the way up to, I got to wrestle on Purpose, make the Purpose debut at Rainbow Hands Grenades at the Pride Show. I got to face Isaac Murray. That was a good match for me. UKPW as well. I've been very busy there. Obviously trying to beat down Tanner, but he keeps beating me, which is fine. Um, and getting to wrestle also at Comic Con, getting to wrestle at Everything Patterned, Roy Johnson's Everything Patterned, winning that match, getting to make my official Purpose debut against TK Cooper at Typical Story, which I just came up a little bit short, and all that whilst also carrying DKW on my shoulders with being the showcase champion, showcasing all the talent possible, mostly myself, and all that as well as keeping it strong with Kia and Cameron wherever we wrestle, and also forming our own little alliance whenever we're in the ring together, and concluding the year with a debut at Fallen Star Wrestling just last week, December 6th, in a fatal four-way ladder match where I came close to becoming the Limitless champion, but I kind of got a little taken out of it before. before I came close to reaching gold. But that's been the year, and there's nothing more coming up for me this year. So now it's just getting to kick back and just put in the work and just train.
Relaxing as well after a busy year. Ladder matches. Let me just talk about that. I mean, obviously, I can't envisage. I mean, I've done, as I mentioned a lot of times before. Wrestled briefly, not very long. Training school, done it. How do you prepare yourself for a ladder match? Because it's different kinds of pain, right? You have a normal
Oh,
wrestling match out there, and you could, obviously you know how to fall and whatnot. When you're taking moves off of ladders, how, other than like just praying to Christ that everything goes okay, how do you sort of process going through those types of matches?
I don't know. That's probably the best answer. I don't know. Like that was for me. That was my second ever ladder match.
Mm.
I had one before in 2019 when I was only 16, and I only took one big ladder move at the very end where I thought it'd be funny to take a snap belly to belly suplex on a ladder in the corner, which was it was a great idea on paper until I actually went through with it and it stung and it hurt and it bruised. So to think that was only 6 years ago and it hurt that much and I was young, so it was kind of easy to get through that pain. To be just a tad older, obviously not old, but like 6 years older than before and be in a ladder match, I mean, obviously is quite a step up and I didn't know what to expect, but I just in the moment that you know you're about to fall into a ladder, you just got to kind of think, okay, you're probably going to be okay tomorrow, and that's all you can really say. Just hope you're okay. Just hope everything's fine. If you need to, just zone out for like a split second, and then the pain will probably just sink back in the next day.
Do you get used to the pain? Because obviously, look, wrestlers and people know this. I know they always say it's fake and all that shit when it's not. Do you do you just get used to that constant? Because you wrestle like every week now. You wrestle like two, three times a week. It's generally like it is generally like they do. It is like they do in the WWE and AEW. They wrestle multiple times a week, maybe in different states, and you wrestle in different counties and whatnot in the UK. Does your body get used to that pain that it goes through every week?
Um, yeah, I'd say because of conditioning, I'd say, you condition yourself to tolerate this amount of pain and just keep it going every single week. Like I mean, it's a lot more now than when I was like 15 or 16
Hmm.
because that was, it's easy because I could just, I had a lot of adrenaline back then and I could basically just like go into school the next day and be like, guys, I fell off a ladder, stuff like that. It's a little more fun. There's something out of it. But now I'm like a fully grown like adult with a job where no one actually gives a shit about if you do this or do that. So it's a little more impactful in terms of how it feels. But I think the conditioning is very important. Like I trained initially at DKW back when it was drop kicks, and
Hmm.
they're known for having like a lack of a ring, which so it's been debated over the years, like, oh, our training schools, do they need a ring, do they not? From my personal experience, I feel the lack of a ring is better because you're conditioning yourself to take even worse bumps because you're only using judo mat and the floor. That's about it. So it's like if you could condition yourself to fall on judo mats, then it makes it 10 times easier and it feels like a like heaven when you basically just bump in a ring. So I think it's all down to just very intense conditioning from young, and then just maintaining that mentality every time you're about to fall.
No, I agree. It is, that is a good thing, and maybe right, maybe not having a ring initially helps. But you did touch on something there, university, and obviously you put yourself through that and the college and whatnot. And how hard was it to sort of take that step back and do that? Was it just something that you thought, you know what, I've got to do this, so it's easier to take that step away, or did you still have that, damn, it's a Saturday, I want to get in the ring and do some wrestling?
No, I was very content because there was a point post COVID where I
Hmm.
took like a hiatus or a sabbatical, whatever, because initially I told myself I wasn't going to go back. I was kind of happy with having like them couple of years of wrestling as a kid and just moving on with my life and just trying to prioritize my personal life because that's kind of what I lacked when I first started out. So I was very much like, just happy with what was going on in my personal life. And then when I fell back in love with wrestling, I was like, okay, it's good to be back. But knowing that I had university to go through, it didn't make me think, oh, I'm gonna miss wrestling, because it's always gonna be there. Like, I came back after 4 years, and it was just happy faces and handshakes and hugs. Like, and I hadn't lost a step either. Like, I very much was in the same, if not a higher caliber of a wrestler than I was back then. So it was kind of easy to process and to be able to move on. And also, it's worth noting that I did drama in
Hmm.
university. So I was trying to think, could it work? But then part of me realized I cannot go and do a play and show up with a broken neck or a limp knee or something, because I thought, hey, let me have a little wrestle on a Saturday. It's fine to take what was basically 5 months off after coming back the year prior, and just go ahead and then come back 5 months later like nothing happened, and pick up where I left off. So it just gave me a bit more time to train, just have time to myself, enjoy university for as long as I had left. And because you only get university once, that
Yeah.
that never comes around again. Wrestling's always going to be there for you, like in many ways, shapes, and forms. But university is a one-time thing, and for me, it was an experience that needed to happen to enable confidence in myself and just understanding the world from an outer perspective, because the wrestlers tend to be quite closed-minded sometimes. So it's good to always like look outside the box and try and just understand everything from the other perspectives around the world, and just try and come up with a conclusive way of life. So I felt it was okay to have that break.
Certainly wasn't, and congratulations for passing and doing everything that you did. Obviously, as you said, it was always written in the stars that you were going to do that for sure. But look, when you move in, do you set like you'll see it? Everyone will start writing down their lists of wrestlers that they want to face in 2026, and they'll start crossing it off, and you'll see it on social media. Is that something that you're going to do, or you've got but you're not going to share, or how are you planning 2026?
It's harder for me to come across like wrestlers to face for 2026, mainly because there are so many new wrestlers coming out now, that one person that you thought you wanted to face, then comes another person who you didn't expect, and ends up just like surprising you like miraculously. Like, I give a shout out to like names like Reagan Blade and like Archie Payne, because like they're two names that only just like made their debuts this year. And if you asked me at the start of the year, oh, would I want to face them? I wouldn't know who the hell you're talking about. And then I got to face them like a couple months ago, and both of them just amazed me in terms of how quickly they understand. And I'm not trying to come across as a veteran, but like it just surprised me how, like, at the start of the year I was thinking, oh, maybe I want to face this person, and then I'm facing other people that I wasn't thinking about, and I'm still amazed and I'm still happy with how it turns out. So I don't really have like a firm list of people for next year. Obviously, there's the basics, like the legends who are all the way with their contracts and stuff, but that's like they're dream opponents, right? But in terms of just people I want to face, it's just I just got to get lucky. In my case, that's all I got to do. Just see what comes out.
You mentioned Regan and Archie there. Everyone will be seeing them next year. I can testify to that. A bit like you, I'd never know. I've never seen them before until WrestleForce, and I was instantly like, Chris Ignite won't mind me saying, I was instantly like, yeah, we need to get these guys in, and it's going to be happening. Like you're coming back to us in February. I say to us, it's not me, it's Chris. You're going back to Ignite in February. We'll get onto that in a sec. Right. Now we're going to break up the show. Now you did get some of these questions. You're very lucky that and there's only one of it was a content creator I had on recently called Just G. I gave her some of the questions that I was going to ask prior to the show, more so because she was like a bit anxiety. I didn't want to, can you just do it? So I was like, that's fine. You've got a few of the questions that I'm going to give to you right now. Not all of them, and some of them I've just thought about adding some more into my head as we've been talking. So, but anyway. First things first, the one that I always ask every wrestler, your top, or anyone I have on the show, your top three wrestling theme songs.
Top three wrestling theme songs. Number one for me is CM Punk's old theme, "This Fire Burns."
Yes, Firebirds. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that will be. I'd say number two. would be I'm gonna say number two would definitely be Jeff Hardy's No More Words.
That is one of the most popular ones that
It
we
it
get on
it
this
just
channel.
is. It just works. It just sounds great. And the last one. Hmm. I'll drop a curveball here because I don't think it gets enough love. The Miz's theme song. Awesome.
Came to play. Yeah, awesome. From
It's
Downstate.
it's really good. Like I feel it doesn't get enough love, and it's downstate. They did Cody's theme. I think they did Dolph Ziggler's theme. It's just like there's a whole load of like different wrestlers they've done themes for, but like I feel like the Miz's is just very like no one really talks about it much, but it is good.
I had that with there was this, I think it was 2005. Billy Kidman had a really good track out there. I think it was Run If You Want To. It was called. It's a Run. It may have been. Check it out. Actually, while I'm on the subject of theme songs, and Tyson Keaton is a prime example of this,
Mm,
I do have two good friends of mine, which are artists, and they actually do cover songs of
mm.
wrestling theme songs. They're called David Bartholomew and Will Scar. If you go onto Spotify and you type in "If We Wrote the Theme," you'll be able to see them do their cover songs of their tracks. And if you speak to Tyson, they done his new song as well. So any wrestler out there, I always get the shameless plug in for him. Any wrestler out there that's looking for a new theme, go and hit those guys up. On the subject of themes, but a question I didn't ask you before the show: if you could have an artist play you out to a wrestling show, who would play you out?
Um, I would say, I'm gonna say Violent Vera, which is the theme that I use in DKW. She's the artist for the theme I use in DKW. It's called I Don't Care. I don't think she's found out I use it. I don't know what will happen if she does, but very much like it's just a very intense like rock song, and I just think it's really just like out of nowhere. And I don't know, it's not a cover, but it's just an intense song, and just to have that vibe there, just to have that vibe for kind of like just that kind of music, just in a small little venue in Westcliff or something, just have like an artist just blast the fucking speakers out and everything. I think it'd be sick. And I just realized as well, going back to the wrestling themes, I have to give an honorable mention real quick to Alexander Roth
Okay.
because his theme is like it's a cover as well. It's a cover theme, but there's something about it. It just sounds so good, and it only suits him. And it's like if I hear that anywhere else, like I would just think, okay, it's Alexander Roth, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
But because I mentioned only WWE wrestlers, so I do want to mention one of the UK wrestlers.
I'll mention a UK wrestler as well, I like. It's on my. It's actually worst thing about my car is you do hear Harry McDonald's theme come on in my car, but that's not the one I was going to mention. It's actually Ricky Knight Jr.
Oh, okay.
His track's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not going to mention Harry. Funny enough, I've just got Taylor James's song in my car now as well, for my sins, and the Cutthroat Collective as well, which is a nice one. But one of the songs, not saying an artist that played me out, but I saw a YouTube video of the late great Scott Hall, and he actually done an ECW show, and he come out to the Fugees, Ready or Not.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Ready or
that was
not?
yeah. That was a tune. That was a really good. I love that. But yeah, I literally, as you mentioned, I was just remembering that I saw that today. So table for three, Jaden. You can have a table for dinner with three wrestling personalities. Don't have to be wrestlers. It can be people, managers, commentators, past or present. Who's the three people you're going to choose and why?
Person number one is CM Punk, just because he is my favorite wrestler, and just overall like a huge inspiration and stuff. Sort of the reason I also got back into wrestling as well as out of it. So it's just like it's very much like I'd love to just sort of pick his brain, just figure out how he does it so well, and just make everything make sense. Like I know he gets hated, but it's just like I mean there's something about it. People keep talking about him regardless, and it just works. And also he's like a promo master, which I think is the coolest thing ever, because I want to try and get to that level, but that's like his level is like easily a Mount Rushmore of promos. Like you can talk all time. I think CM Punk would be an all-timer for like promos in WWE, maybe wrestling as a whole. So he would definitely be number one. Number two, hmm, number two. I'm gonna say Mr. Perfect. Because
He was
I
great.
think he was like one of the first wrestlers I saw as a kid. Because I had a wrestling game growing up called Legends of WrestleMania, and that
Yep.
was the first game that got me into wrestling. And he was one of the people on there, and it was just the idea that he was so like cocky and arrogant. Just having a name, Mr. Perfect, so he could like catch he could catch a ball from one side after throwing it, and then
Yeah.
run and catch the exact same ball. And it's like this guy's perfect and stuff, and it's just like okay, well, I want to know like because he's definitely also an underrated like wrestling genius,
He
and
was.
it's always good to just try and figure out like how he does it so well. Like he's hated just for being perfect and like confident in himself, and I just think that's like so it's fucking cool. Like it's Mr. Perfect, I don't know how he did it, but I would have loved to have met him and just figure that out. Um, and then person three, this might be recency bias, but I want to meet Gunther and shake his hand and say thank you. Just because it's just like he's such a simple wrestler, but he does things so well, and it's ridiculous. Like he has more or less his own like five moves of doom, and is so despised just for being a professional wrestler. And I mean, I don't know how far. I mean, I don't know when this is going to come out. I don't know how far we can go into this, but it's like seeing him submit John Cena that's gonna live like historically, that's gonna live forever. That's sort of like that's what Gunther's gonna be known for, the same way Lesnar was known for beating the streak. So it's like just to know all he did was a few moves and just put a guy to sleep for about 5 minutes. It's incredible how he does it. And he's also a guy that's really good at promos and stuff. And he, English won his first language. So it's kind of like he's had to grow leaps and bounds, and it's the stories that lead them to where they are now. It's just all inspiring, and it's just, I want to thank the guy and just tell him how I feel and tell him like I'm amazed. Like he's the coolest, like the fastest rising wrestler in the world right now, and he's just done the impossible. Like I'm gonna watch Raw tonight. I don't know what the reaction's gonna be, but I'm very excited to find out.
I just find it hilarious that people actually thought Cena was going to fucking win that match.
No, he wasn't.
He was never going to win.
There was no. There was no way he was gonna win. Like, okay,
No.
I was like sitting there, like the tournament had been announced. I heard Gunther was back. I'm like, it's Gunther. It's like I've seen the wrestlers. Like, all right, we had shock returns and stuff. We had Ziggler and Ryder. I'm like, it's Gunther. Gunther's winning, and that's exactly what happened. And then going up against Cena, they're not gonna have Cena win a retirement match. Ric Flair didn't win.
No.
Goldberg didn't win. Shawn Michaels didn't win. Why do you want to? Kurt Angle as well. Like they didn't win, and they still got their flowers and they got their love, and the same has to be said for Cena. And the way he went out, I mean, it's very controversial for sure. But I shed a tear. I thought, okay, he's happy, and Gunther was the man to do it. So yeah,
I got a
Gunther.
feeling Gunther may be the man to retire Brock Lesnar as well when it comes down to it.
Oh wait, guarantee. I thought he's the new legend killer. People are saying.
That'll be knowing WWE, they'll have a shirt out tonight with
Yeah,
that.
he will.
The,
Legend.
the line actually, and this is fun, we can talk about it briefly because the line that Michael Cole said during the ending of this match actually caused a lot of a stir because he said on tonight or tonight's the night where professional wrestling killed sports entertainment, and it's got a lot of people saying, are they going to be changing, the kind of presentation of WWE? Are they going to be changing the guard? Triple H has come out and said this is the start of a new era, which he said 3 weeks ago, which didn't quite materialize.
He's been saying that for the last year. I
Yeah,
don't trust
I
him.
know. But anyway, we'll find out. But yeah, Gunther's great, and the only one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of his chops. I think I will pass it over to you or Peter Miller while we're here. Why not? But moving on, one of the questions I did ask you at the start is if Jaden Williams was going to be in a film, who's going to be the art? Who's going to be the actor that plays him? I'm going to be Bruce Willis. I think,
Yeah, yeah, no, I see it. I was like,
Yeah, Al Murray or someone like that. Yeah, probably.
Bruce
But anyway.
Willis. Oh goodness, I don't know. Because I don't have. I mean, I love films. I love films. I love movies. I did drama for 3 years. I love acting. I love just watching stuff. Um, and obviously, there comes a point where you look at the TV and you're like, why is there no one on TV that looks like me? And it's like, well, who would I get to be me? And it's just, I don't really know. There's not really
Wesley
many.
Snipes.
Oh no, no, but he's just too good. I don't know. It has to be someone a bit more.
It's the whole point.
The more basic. Like I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think oh, it's gonna be difficult. I don't really have a good actor that could. Because I don't know how they would do it or why they do it. I think if it had to be in terms of the acting element, I would say Tom Hardy, just because he can morph into anybody and everybody, and I think it's really cool. But in terms of physical appearance, I don't know. I can't give a name for that. So
It would have been the person playing Swift Sonic the wrestler, so that'd been interesting.
yeah. So I don't know how they would do it. So I don't. Maybe Kean Cameron, but that's it. Yeah, maybe he can do it. I'll tell him
Ian,
to.
yeah, I might be seeing him this weekend at time of recording. I'm not sure if he's going to be at RCWA actually this Saturday, but we'll find out. The other one, and I've now forgotten what that last question was. I'm sure I asked you it as well before we started. Come back to it. We'll play word association. I haven't done this for ages, but I'm going to change up a little bit. So I'm going to give you some names, 10 names for wrestlers, both US, UK based, and you tell me the first word, or phrase that comes to you when I mention Z wrestler.
Okay.
Now we're going to start with John Cena, as we've just spoken about him.
Greatest of all time.
GOAT. Okay. Interesting. Let's switch up, go to the UK. Let's go with Connor Mills.
Greatest of all time. Yeah, I'd say he's one of the better wrestlers. Because he helped me like in a way that I never thought he could. Because he was one of the wrestlers I faced growing up, like at 16, and he was like
Hmm.
sort of someone who, his matches sort of helped me to kind of figure out how to understand wrestling better. And I think he's definitely still one of my favorite matches to this day. We had a match back in December 2019, and it was for like the WrestleForce title. I think I made highlights of it on YouTube and stuff, and it was just the match was so fun. There was so much going on, and he pushes you to a limit in the way that no other wrestler I've faced could. So, greatest of all time in UK. Otherwise, the other words I'd use would be needs a contract.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's not be hasty here. I agree, but I'd like to see Connor maybe ignite a couple of more times before. I agree. He does need a contract. Staying with Brit Rest, Michael Oku.
Definitely got a contract. It's definitely it's somewhere. I know it is. I've got to prove it. He's definitely got one. I know he does.
Ah, well, yeah, I mean, he probably has. I know he's not announced it yet. I'm sure if he hasn't, it soon will be. Samoa Joe.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what the word would be. Underrated.
That's a good one, and that's
Yeah.
very true. That's
Mm.
that, very true. Eddie Kingston.
Quite a character.
Quite a character. I laugh. He's great.
Yeah.
Promo's amazing already. An incredible promo, if anything else. Back to the UK and someone that I call Mr. Happy. You may or may not have wrestled him before. You may not even know what, but Chris Aries.
Oh.
I call him Mr. Happy because he never fucking smiles.
Um. Tall.
Cool.
Tall.
Oh,
Surprisingly tall.
tall.
Surprisingly
Surprisingly
tall.
tall.
I first met him. I'm like, he's tall. I wasn't expecting that.
Maybe someone a bit closer to home now for you. Uh, Taylor James. How are you feeling, by the way, after that Panama sunset? Uh,
Oh, I'm fine. I mean, I don't know if it's forgiven. He made me lose the match, but um, what word can I use? Hmm, hmm. Outlaw.
Outlaw.
Yeah.
Good. Alexis Falcon.
Mm, role model.
Nice. I would have said Disney because that's where she always fucking is every time she posts on social media. Chris Jericho.
Lion Salt.
Lion Soul. I would be saying the words either WWE or return because it ain't going to be too long.
Retirement.
Not yet,
I don't
apparently.
know. I don't know. But
He's
like
not next on the list, but no.
he might be. He has the list.
Well, he does have a list, but he said he's got a lot left in the tank. So
Mm,
we will see. Last but not least, and I'm going to put him on it. You may have never seen him wrestle. You may have done, but considering you're coming back in February, be very careful when I say the word C.J. Carter or a
one more
super.
match.
One more match. Don't say
Yeah.
it.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, no, because I remember seeing him wrestle. That's how we first met. And I mean he had like the crazy skeleton stuff going on. He was really like explosive and stuff. And then I just hear at some point a few years back that he was hanging up the boots. And I was like, oh, he doesn't seem like it's over. I feel like there's definitely something like you want to talk about like, yeah, sure, Jericho's got something in tank, but if Jericho's got something in tank, like CJ Carter has about like two tanks, like five tanks even. Like it's definitely, there's definitely one more there. Again, something I can't prove it. I can't prove it. I just feel there's definitely one more match.
Oh, I'm gonna clip this and send it to her. Just briefly, that was a last name, but if you're a fan of memes, not the wrestler memes, but if you're a fan of memes, you know the Cena smile that he had on his face yesterday. Well, Greg's have just said, so they've had a picture of Cena and they've quote tweeted above it, nobody, the sausage in a sausage roll. And it's Cena's. I don't know why that tickled me more than anything else I've seen. There's been a lot of things I've seen today that have shocked me quite a bit in Brit Rest, which I'm glad didn't happen. But that was just something quite funny. And I realized what the other question was. I was going to ask you was a murder mystery question, right? I played this
Yes.
with a content creator. So, Jaden Williams, you're a Cluedo. And obviously, everybody knows if there's a Cluedo, there's a killer, there's a victim, there's a room, and there is a weapon. Jaden, you are the killer. Who is your victim in what room with what weapon?
Hmm. Um. My victim will be Ashley.
Fair.
Um. Weapon. I feel bad. Actually, no, I don't feel bad. The fuck.
There you
Um.
go.
Yeah, Ashley. It would be in the bathroom with acid.
Wow. Ooh, good
Oh,
luck.
it's just hiding it. I don't know. I don't know how to play a game. I just assume it's like,
No, that's absolutely fine.
yeah,
Just for everyone watching, he's not going to do that. It purely entertainment pros, right? From this point. Bloody hell. Yeah, we don't. That's the last thing we need is, with social media these days, you can't say anything with the police knocking at your door, can you? They'll be arresting you for like, what was it? A hate crime, or I don't know, or some sort of, what's the crime when you say you're going to do it, but you don't actually mean to do it? I don't know. They'll create a crime for it. I'm sure there is intent or, well, I don't know.
yeah, something about like
Threats to
conspiracy.
kill, isn't it? Is that what it is? Something along those lines? Threats to kill, or I don't know. Yeah.
I think yeah, there's something along that. Yeah, like conspiracy to do something.
Some weird
Yeah,
stuff, yeah. Anyway, don't worry about that. Look, let's talk DKW as we start to wrap up, Jaden. Showcase champion. Obviously, we kind of hit on the last show was a survival show where obviously Taylor James did give you the Panama Sunset or whatever you want to call it. It eliminated you from that particular survival match, but you kind of have a lot of people at DKW wanting the shot. I mean, Peter Miller wanted one. He got he got put in his place by Archie Payne, who signaled that he wanted it. Regan Blade obviously was the survivor in this match. So he's going to be claiming for it. Um, 2026 is going to seem to be an interesting one at DKW for Swift Sonic. A lot of enemies are coming your way.
it's their fault. I mean, it's their fault. I've done enough. with the showcase title, holding it for I think it's 170 days I'm on now. And I've made the title so prestigious. You've got names from outside of DKW like wanting to put up a fight. Like I put out a video initiating an open challenge. Um, and I had names like all over the scene. I think one name in particular was like Alf Edwards, suplex merchant. And he had his eyes on the title. So I'm getting like names from all over the scene wanting to get a shot at the showcase title, and it just makes me think like I'm happy with what I've done with it because it means that that title has more relevance than the British title, which has always been renowned as the title of DKW. And here I am now just telling everyone, no, the showcase title is where it's at. You come to DKW to step up to me. So it's I know there's definitely a lot of names. I know there's definitely going to be a situation where I'm most likely going to have to step up to Regan Blade because he did pin me last. He pinned me last, Taylor James got knocked out fairly easily, the wuss, and then he got a little upset that he lost, so he decides to hit me with his thing, and
Fidget
then
spinner.
fidget spinner. He thought he was slick doing that, you know. Well, all I did was just tell him go back to France. What's so bad about that? Um, and yeah, I mean, Regan Blade did beat me, so arguably, I think he's definitely entitled by wrestling law, entitled to a match for the showcase title. So I feel he's definitely next up for grabs there. But obviously, he's got no chance because I will have my homie Lilith Diaz with me. I will be able to do this by myself. Lilith Diaz is simply my moral support and my homie. And I proved at the space against three other opponents that I don't need Lilith Diaz. It's just nice to have her there. But I can do this myself, and I can easily stay the showcase champion for the rest of eternity. And as for other names out there, you got AJ Payne. I mean, it'd be good to stand face to face with him in a DKW ring. That's always something to look forward to. Guys outside of DKW, again, step up to the challenge. Like I'm waiting there. But as far as I see it, the title's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's going to be stuck with me because there's only one Swift Sonic, and you're looking at him.
And on that note, that is a good way to start wrapping up, Jaden. But look, 2026, look, you're going to be in DKW. Obviously, you're going to be at Ignite. You may be back at Purpose. But if there's any promoters out there that want to book Swift Sonic, where do they go?
So I have Instagram, which is at Jaden underscore PW. Sometimes it gets a bit mixed up. You can message me on there, or you can email me at jadenww2003 at outlook.com. Though I do prefer if you message me on Instagram because I'm more likely to answer.
There you go. Make sure you do, guys, because Swift Sonic by name, Swift Sonic by nature, you'll be missing out if you don't have this man on your show in 2026. And although I've already kind of said where you're going to be a little bit in 2026, why don't you tell us what you can announce so far?
Um, I have a show definitely sorted for WrestleForce. I'll be back at WrestleForce for 2026 very soon. Ignite on February the 15th, which is the day after my birthday. I will definitely be there, and I am going to cause carnage against whoever I step up against the ring with. Like, I mean, I went up against two up and coming names in the wrestling world, and I elevated them significantly. So I will do the same with pretty much anybody else. Um, yes, I'll be at DKW because I'm carrying their company on my shoulders. Um, and that's as much as I know. Hopefully, I'll probably pop back into UKPW sometime soon, hopefully. And same with Purpose. And the rest is up to everybody else.
Up to the promoters that watch this program that need to book you for their shows, of course. But you mentioned Ignite. I've got to mention it because my championship is on the line at that same show. Make sure you bring cake, by the way, birthday, or we'll bring you some cake perhaps for your birthday on that show. But look, February the 15th is going to be a great one for us. Well, say a great one. Mr. Happy, as I proclaim him, has demanded his one-on-one match with a Luna for the championship, and reluctantly, I've given it to him. Although someone on Facebook did make a point in saying, well, if it's one-on-one, you need to get rid of Arthur Scurro. So that might be something that we do. Also on there as well, it's I think Taylor James is defending the championship against Tommy Kyle and Tommy Tanner following the last show in which Tommy Tanner won the breakout. He went to cash it in, but another Tom Mercer, prevented that from happening. So he ended the show with Tommy Kyle and Tommy Tanner with a strap each of the championship, and Taylor James and Jesus, this is like the four T's we've got going, or five if you count the fact that it's Tommy Tanner. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Anyway, they're going to be there. Jaden's going to be there as well. Match to be confirmed. First class flyers make their debut. Ignite CPF return. Ignite may have dropped a hint there, who they're facing, potentially. The breakout should come back, I believe. Maybe that's something for CJ to look out. But yeah, get 96 Eventbrite for your tickets on that one. DKW shows. We're going to be back in March for Loaded. I think was where we get to choose, like the fans get to choose. Oh, that's going to be good. Can we do a 3 Stages of Hell with Peter Miller and the roster? That'd be fun. Anyway, sorry, Pete. I've always got it in for you for some unknown reason. But so yeah, DKW stores for that WrestleForce for their shows as well. Get down there. See WrestleForce, always family fun. Need to shout out TNA. Big thanks for the support this year. The interviews that you've given us. Tasha Steele's the most recent one from all the 4 is in the playlist. I've got to thank AEW as well, not only for your support, for the Forbidden Door All Access with the press conference, and for this coming Wednesday's Dynamite. My co-host Dave Robinson and his dad will be there repping HTTB again in the press area. So big thanks for AEW. And the most recent interviews from AEW, Bishop Corn and Preston Vance are also in there below. Coming up this week, and funnily enough, a former Intercontinental Champion, a former ECW champion by the name of Ezekiel Jackson, or people may know him now as Recklin Stevens, will be coming on. I think he's making a return to wrestling in 2026, so looking forward to speak to him about that. I'm going on a podcast this week. I think it's called the Bear Society podcast or something along those lines. It's an interesting one. But I'm also going to be interviewing Corey Brennan from Fightful Select. Is going to come on as well. And I think that pretty much wraps everything up. It does for now anyway. But Jaden, it's been great talking to you. Thanks so much for taking your time. If I don't see you before, I'll see you at Ignite, obviously, and we'll have a birthday. I don't know. We'll sort something out for your birthday.
Thank you.
But for Swift Sonic Jaden Williams, I've been your host, Adam Cousins. You've been watching the Independent Showcase Trailblazers on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Until next time, everybody, when we're back with Recklon Stevens, buckle down, stay safe, good night.